Alright, today we are taking a look at HadesAngel playing Lifeweaver on Blizzard World. So I know this is a competitive game, and it was done, I believe, the same day that the Season 9 patch came out. So lots of changes all at once. I did wait a couple days before looking at this so I could sort of get a grasp of what the patch was going to be like before, giving any advice or ideas or anything here. So we're going to take a look. Lifeweaver, I'll admit, has a super high. I'm not going to say skill ceiling. I'm going to say expression ceiling. He can be played in a very expressive way, and I have not mastered his expressiveness quite yet. So while I will give some probably mostly like position and teamwork tips, I'll probably give some ideas on how to use his abilities, but I'm by no means a Lifeweaver master. So um, anything I say could definitely be quite embellished upon in your future matches here. Connor is, I believe, before the rank reset was high silver, low gold skill. So that's probably about the rank of the match. However, with the SR reset that happened during the beginning of season 9, your teammates may be all different experience levels. I know that the matches at the beginning probably were not going to be matched very evenly skill level wise. So we'll see. You might have some drastically better, drastically worse players in your team. I have not watched this yet, so I don't know what we're about to get into, but let's get started. You're just letting your team letting them go set up and
Stay
you're
near,
gonna
will
go
you?
catch up, huh?
I hate when people run off without me.
So when you're playing, especially competitive, you want to first thing you want to do is take a look at your composition of your team. Whoa, I didn't want to do that. I want to be in first person. Spectate player. There we go. So you want to take a look at your team composition. You have a Sojourn, a Soldier, a Mercy, and an Orisa. I like to think when I'm playing Lifeweaver, I like to think about who can make use of my petal the most. So in this case, Sojourn's not going to need your petal. She can leap up to high ground on her own. Mercy can fly. Orisa is a possibility, but tanks typically aren't the ones using your petal unless you're saving them from something. So in this case, probably Soldier is going to make the best use of your petal platform. So when you're setting up here on defense, you want to think of spots that your soldier is going to want to use. Typically, when I like to play Lifeweaver on this map, actually. So typically when I'm defending here, I will put a pedal about right here. I know that soldier can run up here pretty quick, so he's probably not going to make use of it. But if he gets knocked down, he can have a pedal waiting here to quickly get back up. Or if your Orisa needs to get up there to help out if the enemy team ends up going up high ground this way, you can get the team up here really quickly to help out. You can even pedal yourself up and yank your Orisa up if she's not paying attention. Other places you might want to think about placing your pedal, if your DPS are open to it and the fight's starting to progress further back, I might toss one here just to see if they take the bait and head up here. This is a spot that a lot of people don't use. It's not that good when the fight's still up by the choke because you can't see anything. But if the team this fight's progressing back here, you can put a lot of pressure on them from up here. I would love to get up here as an Ana. If you had an Ana on your team, it's pretty impossible for her to get up here, but it would be a great place to get to. To put old grandma up here. A lot of people are going to want to go up here. This is the sort of default high ground for when you're defending the point, but it's actually not as good as you think. It's pretty good for long range heroes like Widow or Hanzo when they're defending the choke. But once the fight progresses back this way, you don't have good line of sight down onto the point. You have to sort of do this shoot downward thing where you're really vulnerable. So, and also there's a staircase right here, so you shouldn't need to worry too much about getting people up here, but I will say if the fight has progressed to the point where you're struggling to hold the point, I would toss a flower maybe here or here. Just be careful of the boat and the lip of this ledge because your flowers will get stuck on them. But just so people can, if you have like two defenders on the point trying to hold it until the rest of your team get back, and then their whole enemy team's here, you will throw some flowers down just to make a quick escape so people can get out of here and stay alive until their team gets back. And with all that said, so you should be thinking about your flower placement. So with all that said, let's see what happens. Your Risa's still behind you, and there are still 13 seconds left, so it's okay. Let's see how it goes. So you put the flower there. I'm not sure if you had a plan for it. If you did, that's totally cool. But there's no high ground around to let somebody escape to. So basically, when you put a flower down and it just goes up in the air, it's okay if you're sort of in a precarious situation and you just need to get somebody out of the fight. That's totally valid. But when you're doing like a planning flower like that, you're sort of planning ahead of time where you want it to go. You don't really have anything that flower is going to be able to do for you. So it's going to go up in the air. Their team's going to shoot it down, and the person's just going to fall to the ground with no escape plan. So probably want to avoid putting your flower somewhere that doesn't have a clear escape plan, unless you're in a moment of panic and you're just trying to save someone really quick. I like how you're making sure to get line of sight of your high ground team and your Orisa. Just be careful of the enemy team seeing you, but they should be able to see you too much through the statue and the rocks here. If they did have a Widow, I think you could be easy snippins. Since your team's pretty healthy right now, what I would recommend would be... I lost my hotkey here. But what I would recommend would be... So sorry. I had my hotkeys set up, but it looks like they are not working as they previously did. What I would be doing here is... Oh, my apologies. I thought that for some reason I thought that this pylon was in here because I could see it through. I was going to say you could try to shoot at this pylon since your team's healthy, but it is on the other side of the wall, so please disregard that. I couldn't see it properly through the walls. And so your soldier did take your pedal. It was like he said, "Oh, I have a plan up here. This pedal's totally here for me to do something with it. Let me go up here." But you had to immediately pull him down because the pedal wasn't really a spot that he could take advantage of. It was in a dangerous spot, essentially. But if you threw a pedal over sort of where he's standing, he could easily get back up to high ground and then start shooting down at people like he was. And then his Mercy could fly up to him. Because this Malga, you see, he's coming around the corner. And he's about to start gunning down your squishies. Though Malga's definitely weaker in this patch, so we'll see how he plays out. I haven't really encountered a Malga in my game since the patch. But definitely put a flower here to get them back to the left side high ground. I like that you're keeping your distance behind this statue. You're definitely taking cover and trying not to be on the front line or anything like that. You know how to position well so that you're safe. And you went to try to get that turret down. That's good. It looked like the soldier wasn't getting it. He got it. He ended up getting it at the last second, it looks like. Or possibly the Symmetra made new ones. You haven't placed another pedal down yet, so you placed the one, but it's been off cooldown all this time and you haven't placed a new one, so I think that a lot of Lifeweaver's skill comes to planning your pedal positions. So I know you're just sort of healing here, you're chilling, you're keeping everyone alive, that's good, but everyone's been pretty safe thus far. Mercy's here, she's taking care of it, she's heal beaming and not blue beaming as much, which she should probably, I mean, with this patch, it's definitely harder to keep people alive, so it's understandable. But definitely be thinking here where you can put a flower.
It's go time.
I think you made a little bit of a mistake using your dash. You didn't really need your dash. It might have been an accident, so just disregard this if it was. I'm sure you know this, but with all movement abilities, all the sort of escape abilities that supports have, like Moira's Fade, same with Reaper, Reaper's Fade, you want to save them for when you really need them, because with Lifeweavers, his dash heals you 50 HP. And if you had your dash, you just used it, and you only went like a couple feet forward, which you wasn't really necessary, you would have been able to escape from this ulting Iliari a little bit better, and you might have been able to pull your teammates to safety a little bit better. Let's see. I don't really recommend the area you're in, it's a little bit scary, but I'm gonna see what you do here with it because it might be okay. Okay, you've saved your Mercy. However, now your team is left without any supports, and you guys are with this Moira. So I think the rest of your team might die. Good job noticing the turret quickly. Your Orisa's down there still, but you're gonna need to throw some heals to her.
Life protects life. I have you, Doctor.
Okay, good cover with the tree. Mercy took advantage of it. That was good.
Appreciate it.
The tree, I was a little nervous about using the tree because the Orisa died at the same time, but it worked out. It worked out for the best. I like that you're trying to weave in damage here. I would recommend not going up this. Let me go to the free camera again, which my hotkeys aren't working for, but I would recommend not putting your back to this position here. It seems safe, but there's a couple things that are not great about this. First of all, if they come up here, you're gonna have the same issue you just had where you have nowhere to go but up. And if you go up these stairs, you feel like you're gonna be like, oh, I'll just get to this high ground, it'll be fine. But there's sort of this like long winding path. These birds can be in the way. You end up like going all the way around sometimes, and it takes a really long time to get back to the fight. And that's time that your team needs you for healing. Also, the other thing that's problematic about this area is that you can't really do much damage. This is very passive. So your team is all here trying to get early picks to prevent them from coming up the choke, but you can't contribute to the damage at all. Now, of course, Lifeweaver doesn't do as much damage as, you know, your DPS are going to do, but especially since you have a Mercy on your team who's not going to be damaging probably almost at all, you're gonna want to try to weave in damage a little bit more often than you would if you had something like an Ana on your team who's going to be healing a little bit more, or a Baptiste on your team. So for that reason, honestly, I don't think Lifeweaver and Mercy are a very good combination. I try to avoid playing Lifeweaver if I have a Mercy on my team because they have a very similar play style. So they both sort of contribute the same thing to a team. But since it's okay that you have it, it's okay that that happens. Sometimes you want to play Lifeweaver and the other person picks Mercy. It's not ideal, but you can make it work. Just keep in mind that you'll want to do a little bit more damage just because in this case, these guys are the only ones doing damage against this whole team that's going to be shooting up to you. I don't know where I think your soldier is coming back from. Oh no, he's up there. Okay, I'm not sure where he's really going. Anyway, yeah, so just keep in mind you'll want to be in a position where you can do a little bit more. You don't want to be in this passive position. If you were going, I would recommend sticking back here a little bit. These rocks that you started off were a good place to go, even just using the statues so you can see if somebody's coming up the back staircase, the flank route here, and then pinging them so your team will be alerted. And that way you can also poke around the statue like this. You can shoot this way if someone's coming up here, and you can easily retreat to safety. You can come back through here where you'll still have full view of the fight if you escaped this way. Going up the staircase, that route is more for attackers. It's not good for defenders typically. I would have pulled your Sojourn out of the dragons there, to be honest. But she was okay, so... Oh, she wasn't. She still got killed by Hanzo. Now, see, you're stuck in this spot, like I was just mentioning. You don't really have anywhere to go, because if you walk to the right now, they're going to gun you down. Luckily, your Orisa was able to save you a little bit.
Thank you.
They only have a minute left, and they haven't gotten past choke yet. For coaching, if someone's coming up the back. For coaching in general, I know I mentioned this in the coaching request guide, but you'll wanna. I obviously I don't know what's gonna happen in the next bit here, but I think we're like almost halfway through the VOD and they haven't even touched the point. But you typically want to send in something that's going to be like a close win or loss rather than just like a one-sided win or loss, because there's a lot more opportunity to learn from a game that's close. If you were in a game that was really close and you lost, if you had changed maybe 2 or 3 things about how you play, you could have turned that into a win. So it's a better coaching opportunity in general. I'm not mad about this. I'm happy to be able to give you some tips and help you out here, hopefully, if I'm helping at all. But just in general, I mean, next time if you submit, just go ahead and get something that's a little bit closer, just so we can really work through some stuff. Get into the nitty gritty. Okay, Malga's coming through the back. Yeah, if you hadn't been in that position, the passive position on the left, you would have been able to escape this. Nice use, good thinking on the flower though. Good thinking on the flower. That's good. It worked out for you guys. I'm kind of surprised that it did. The flower, I think, was super, super helpful. I don't know if I, in that position, would have thought immediately of the flower. Maybe. I know that there's some... I don't know Malga's ult well enough yet, but I know there's some interesting interactions you can do between the flower and his ult. I'd have to test that out a little bit first before I told you a little bit more about that.
Are you in distress? 30 seconds remaining.
But as Lifeweaver, if there's a Malga on the other team, you're going to want to make sure you do everything you can to stay out of the ult, because you can save your teammates from it really easily.
Understood.
They switched to Sigma. That's when you want to use your dash here. You're at low health. This Lucio's jumping onto the point. I would dash back to the point, just so you can contest him from it, and also so you can regain health really quick, because he's probably going to try to finish you off here. Oh, he's just ignoring you, but most Lucios here would try to finish you off. Good tree. Okay, so that's first round. Yeah, so we didn't really get to look at the rest of the map, just the first choke. So can't say, I mean, I think that this map is pretty good for Lifeweaver. It has a lot of high ground, has a lot of interesting points that you can get people to or use to save people, that kind of thing. And you can use your tree in really creative ways, I think, especially on the second point. But we didn't really get to see any of that, unfortunately. Let's fast forward a little here and see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna go Lucio on point 2. Lucio's probably the support I'm worst at. I think, you know, I know about Lucio, I'm not very good at him because I play on a controller, so it's hard for me to wall ride appropriately. I think Lucio is the hardest support for me, to be honest. Alright, let's get out there. Based on the time left, I'm gonna guess you're gonna get through pretty quickly, but they have sim turrets, it looks like. So that might be tough for you to get through. Going for damage. There's a bastion, there's a shield that's not looking good. I think you used your amp. Let me go back for a second. Sorry, I went back so far, but yeah, you amped right out the gate, which I don't recommend, because I think this amp sort of cost you here. You did get up to the choke more quickly, however, they defend on this point so close to the choke that you don't really need to get here in any kind of a hurry. I would recommend, if you wanted to speed amp, I would recommend taking people through the bottom left flank to get up there quickly and surprise them quickly. But since you're just going up the main stairs, no need to waste that coming out the gate, because as soon as you get up here, everyone starts taking a ton of damage from the bastion and you can't get through the Sigma shield. You got the rock. You could have amped here to boost everyone's health or to speed them out of the way. So I think just be careful of wasting abilities that have a longer cooldown like that. Obviously you didn't know they were going to have a shielded bastion, but you don't know what they're going to have at this point, so it's better to be safe than sorry. There's a turret behind your head. Oh, where'd it go? Someone must have taken it down. Yeah, just wait for your team. If you can get your team, it looks like maybe you're trying to get everyone. Yeah, you're trying to get everyone to go. Perfect. Yeah, you should definitely, with the comp you have. Oh, be careful just skating in front of the choke like that. You could definitely get one shot. It's harder to get one shot in this patch, but you definitely could get burst down at the very least, very easily. Yeah, your Sojourn's going there. I would definitely just go in there with her. It's okay. Leave them. They have Anna. Sojourn's already dead. Like I said, this is probably high silver, low gold, so probably people are gonna be not as... That's scary. None of your teammates are in front of you. You're a support, you're just a Lucio, there's a Bastion shooting in your face. You don't want to be in a position where none of your teammates are in front of you. That's very scary. I'm surprised you're alive, but it's a good thing you are. Now, you want to speed boost your team. The Bastion's ult's coming in. You want to speed boost your team to get out of there. Worked out still. Hog ended up surviving it. And doesn't know about this turret. Alright, she's staying out there by herself. Sometimes you can't get your teammates to group up. It just is the way of things. In this patch, Lucio is actually pretty strong, and you can definitely dive with him, but I would play him in a situation where you have another diver with you. Like if you have something like a Tracer, something like a Genji, a Winston. I'm not sure you needed your ult quite yet. I would have saved it in this case for, like, you can see Sigma has his ult almost. And when you guys get to the point, you should be thinking, like, Sigma's probably going to lift us up in the air to get us off the point, and if you use your ult, then you can save your whole team from that. They also have... yeah, they have the Fox ready too, so that's going to be big burst damage. I know you're trying to just push in, but you're kind of frontlining. But I understand why you're doing it. You feel like your team's not working together well enough, so you're just trying to get in and touch. But even if you get in like this, you're just going to end up dying if you're by yourself. So you just want to be more careful as a support.
Time for a remix. Crank up the game.
I don't know if you... I know you're pretty good at Lucio generally. I'm not sure if you know that if you wall ride and jump off, you go a lot faster, so you get a speed boost every time you jump off. So it's a good way to get back from the point doing that. I'm sure you know that. I just didn't see you doing it, so I'm just bringing it up. But I know you've played a lot of Lucio, so I'm sure that you know that. Oh gosh, the Bastion. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Don't ever look the Bastion in the eye. Yeah, I think you're panicking a little bit because you have less than a minute left. But rather than go in and die, you have to try to group up with your team. Even if you can't get everyone, hang back and wait for like 2 people. You can physically go with one person, and then if you guys are together, someone else will probably go with you. And if you have 3 people at least grouped up, that's going to make things a lot easier for you. I see you're trying to group up with a soldier as we speak. He's gonna try... He doesn't have his ult. I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do up here. I was wrong on my prediction. I thought you were gonna have a close... I thought you were gonna have a stomp on this one. I guess this was kind of close. Alright, yeah, go in the soldier. Unlucky, he didn't get in. The sim turrets are pretty much an insurmountable obstacle on this map for lower ranked, not teamed up players. So like, people who aren't in voice chat and in a low rank really can't deal with the combination of a Sigma shield and symmetric turrets on this map. It's really tough. I would recommend... Let's see if we can just... I'm just gonna pause in here. Oh gosh, it's not a good place to pause. There's dragons everywhere. So if you can, I know you probably know this already, but if you're able to, if you're on attack here, and they have all of that nonsense going on, they have the shield and the choke, they have the turrets all set up around the choke, it's definitely best to get your team to go through here. If you could get your soldier and your sojourn, I mean, honestly, I would prefer to have Anna come back up through here, but if your Roadhog was going to stay in the choke, it's better to leave them together so that they're at least providing a distraction or a way to split the attention between the 2 assaults going on the enemy team. But yeah, if you can bring your like Sojourner and your Soldier has self-healing too, so not too bad. Um, come right up here, take out the turrets from here, wipe out anyone on high ground before the people right here notice, because they're still dealing with the Roadhog and the Ana, they're not turning around. So you've got maybe like 2 or 3 picks between the 3 of you guys, and then it should be easy. You've got like a monkey in the middle situation where you can finish off the people that are here, kill them off, and if you guys got to the point and touched, you would have won the game. But I know that's way easier said than done in high silver with teammates that you're not verbally communicating with. I totally get that. This is a difficult map to attack, so don't feel bad about that. I've had many, 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 many games that went much like this. So yeah, that being said, I think I know you're wanting to work on Lifeweaver, so mostly just tips for Lifeweaver here. Just be making sure that you're thinking about your pedal platform. Think about high ground, think about escape routes, and while you're in that vein, this is probably going to be a little bit more advanced after you play him a little bit more. Think about ways that you can use his pedal to disrupt ults. For example, if the enemy team has an Orisa and she uses her ult and your teammates are all in it, you put your pedal under her and she gets taken up into the air, and then your teammates are all safe. Sigma's Flux, you put the pedal. You have to time this really well, but if you put the pedal in the middle of the flux hole, it will cancel his ult. Mauga's ult as well, you did use your pedal there. You can go ahead and lift your teammates out of it, that kind of thing. You want to be thinking pretty much as Lifeweaver at all times, what could I be doing with my pedal right now? Where can I place it? Where should I be putting it for an escape route? Where can I be using it offensively? Basically just be thinking those words at all times. Where should I put my pedal? Where should I put my pedal? Where should I put my pedal? His healing is, it's not mechanically intensive, so it frees you up to think about some game sense things a little bit more, since you're not having to worry about your aim. It's an automatic aim situation. And aside from that, just positioning. I know we've done some like map walkthroughs together, and you found it helpful. So I don't know if it's helpful for you to go through maps alone. I'd also be happy to go through maps with you. I love to do map guides as well. But making sure that you're positioning in areas that are on the appropriate side. Like I said, this staircase is for the attackers, not for the defenders. So things like that are just something to basically keep in mind. But other than that, I would love to see a longer game from you so we could go over a little bit more. I feel like I couldn't really say much since we only experienced fights around this choke on this map, and there's a whole rest of the Blizzard world out there to take a look at. So yeah, go ahead and send me in a code again next week if you'd like. And let me know if you have any questions, or if anything I said you think was wrong or didn't make sense. Let me know. I'd be happy to talk about it with you.